we should probably show.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 528, recorded on July 20th, 2017. I am Brian Kilby, and with me this week, I have the indomitable Chris.
Hey!
The insufferable Don.
Gee, thanks.
Wow, I'm surprised you didn't switch those for us.
I'm trying to think of adjectives. Gosh, I should have went with incredible. The incredible diecast.
Hey, what's up?
And the incorrigible Matt.
The incorrigible Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
And the impossible Rob.
Hi.
So, yeah. Hey, guys, how's it going? So it's been a busy day for a lot of us.
Yes, it is.
Don, this is your 17th podcast for the day.
It feels like it. Yes. So I may conk out in the middle of it. So if I do, just have Massey bite my feet again.
We have a lot to talk about this week. But first, just a couple mentions. We posted 2 podcasts in the last couple of days, RFC Extra 33 and our RFC Extra 34. We go in depth on the episode 33 on the TFCon. I guess that's just TFCon. It's not TFCon Canada. The TFCon Toronto third-party panel. Let's see here. That was Don, Diecast, me. Matt, were you there? You were there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you were.
Yes.
So,
I'm
glad
my inclusion was so memorable for you, Brian.
Dude, I don't remember who was there, so I'm just going by the screen. Dude, yeah. So we talked about all the stuff that showed up at the TFCon third-party panel, and the one that posted earlier today was the RFC, the not RFC crew, which included Jason, Eric, Don, and Matt. Were you there? I can't remember. Were you there, Matt?
No, I was at work.
But they talked about all the SDCC stuff. So they went into great detail on stuff that we're gonna hit on today. So today's more of a general recap of everything that's happened over the last few days. But if you want to go into detail, we have those 2 episodes of RFC Extra. So actually, we're going to start off things a little differently this week. We're going to welcome our pal John Garcia to the show. John's at SDCC, and he attended the Hasbro panel. And he's going to give us some thoughts on what he saw today. John, welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
This is, and you've been listening for going on 18 years. This is your first time on RFC, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you are at San Diego Comic-Con. You attended the Hasbro press event. You were a stand-in today, apparently, for Headmaster Don. Tell us what happened there.
Well, they were like, do we have any questions? And the room was already staring at me because I was there the panel before, and the panel before was a fan of Calendar Man, which was my costume. And he pointed me out, like, don't leave because I want to take a photo with you. I'm like, okay. But so they already was staring at me, so they just let me in through ask the first question.
So Calendar Man asked the question.
What's the Titan Masters are finishing up? Where is RC and Daniel?
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So what did they say?
And they said, like, geez, someone asked us that every con we go to. Are you sure you're not him?
It's kind of funny. You would figure that they would get the hint after a while. I mean, Seriously, we were able to get them to make a frickin' Big Daddy figure in 2008. Something like that, so...
That was a different team, though.
It was a different team. But Don was asking that team all the same.
We just badgered this team into an Overlord.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, at the panel, what are some of your thoughts? We're going to recount a lot of the stuff that happened today, but just your eyewitness feelings on what you saw. Can you tell us what your thoughts are?
Well, those gimmicks are headmasters with non-faces on them that are used as other things.
Well, you can probably still put them on your Titan Master.
You put them as heads, right?
Yeah.
That's odd.
And It is, because you can totally see the head speaking out, because like they had the things that were going for Overlord on a lot of those, on like the Rodimus Prime and those, and when you use them on who was the pretender? Skullgrin.
Skullgrin.
For those,
you can totally see, yeah.
For those coming in cold who don't know what we are talking about, so we are getting, oh god, what are they called? They're basically power masters.
Prime masters.
They're Prime Masters.
Which it's the same format as the Titan Masters, which are,
I think it's the same body construction.
yeah, except they don't
Appears
have
to be.
faces. They don't have faces. They have some sort of spark.
They look like arc reactors from Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah.
So it's a similar play pattern, but it's different. So these could easily be heads, but they're not, because they don't have faces. A little weird.
Yeah.
That's
And,
because
like,
Optimus Prime stole all their faces.
he does.
Bravo. That's great. So you saw that. What else did you see?
I saw Pretenders, and you can totally see that they're doing the Pretenders classics, because they did Jazz and Starscream, who was a Voyager, but he was very chunky, and he had a very simplified transformation. And they said, "We'll show you his features later on," and he's probably like a transforming Pretender shell, I think, because he transforms by putting his arms on his side and going on his belly, and that's how he transforms.
What was the most impressive thing that you saw?
Rodimus Prime.
How does he look in person?
They didn't have like an actual toy of him, but they had the different slides, which I'll send to you, of how he kind of transforms. And there's a hot rod, a separate hot rod that transforms as hot rod. And that looks cool, and it's totally not the hot rod we get from Titans Return.
So that's not what. So I didn't pick up on that earlier. So it's Rodimus Prime and a separate hot rod figure.
Yeah, no. The cab of the Winnebago turns into a car that turns into hot rod,
like the Masterpiece toy, but hopefully better.
Yes.
Yeah, it's basically a better Masterpiece toy.
Targeting basically a Power Master Prime almost. Just
and
as
it's slightly even better because when he transforms, the legs are kind of integrated into the legs of the Winnebago, so he doesn't just roll up into a ball.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's good to know.
Which is real. Yeah.
So, what were some of the other questions that were asked during the presentation?
It's very like low ball questions, like "What's your favorite toy?"
Now, is it true they asked about the legs on Titans Return Trypticon that we'd heard problems with?
They were like, "Well, it's one of those things that just happens."
It just happens on a $150 figure.
Yay!
Oh, what's really interesting is the crowd. The crowd were fans of the Combiner Wars, Combiner Wars cartoons. They were like so.
Oh.
They were so heavily like, whoa! That's the biggest applause they got.
It seems like people who are not Transformers fans are fans of the Combiner Wars cartoon. If there's a Venn diagram and you have Transformers fans, fans of the Combiner Wars cartoon, and they barely intersect.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird. It's really weird.
Yes, I think the point where they intersect is diecast. I think there's just enough room for that.
Diecast didn't like it, did he?
It was okay. There was it could have been better.
Yeah, exactly.
Diecast spoke up in its defense quite heavily on the basis that, hey, it's free.
Yeah.
There you go. Ringing endorsement. I mean, he's right. That's what I had going for it. So, what else did they go into, John, that you that resonated with you?
They also hinted that the Optimus Primal, that's going to be in the Prime Wars, and he won the vote, right?
Yeah.
He would have a similar play pattern as Rodimus Prime, but they didn't specify.
So he's going to have a little baby monkey.
Optimus
Either
Minor.
a baby or maybe a bat. I hope it's a bat.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's what they'll do. I'm hoping
a
it'll be a
bat.
bat inside a gorilla suit.
I'm kind of hoping like we get like a season 1 or Transmetal Optimus Primal that then turns into an Optimal Optimus.
Oh, that would be.
Come on, Optimal Optimus, a little Optimal Optimus that turns into a big season 1 Primal.
Sure, why not? I'm good either way.
And plus, he has the chest compartment, which like an Optimal Optimus would have the chest compartment, which is part of the play pattern.
That's true.
That'd be neat. Johnny, any other thoughts?
The skull grin was really cool, and that was kind of wasted because I don't know, like John, what's his name, John Warden was really into it, and the crowd was just like silence, and like 3 of us were like, "Woo!"
Oh man!
Again,
not pretenders, you know.
Yeah.
And I like the varied play pattern of how they're not all heads. Like if it's a deluxe, it becomes a part of a chest armor. If it's a Voyager, it becomes like a part of an arm weapon. They call it a buckler mode. It becomes a chest because the leaders don't have their own Prime Masters. They have each a different matrix. They said, I guess it's a different colored matrix that looks like a matrix. And Beachcomber. They have Beachcomber.
Yeah, no,
like
time.
About time.
Did you see Dreadwing? I mean, because that to me is sure looking like an aerial bot.
It looks like
it is.
Yeah,
Darkwing and
it's
Dreadwind are aerial
Darkwing
bots
and
that have been modified.
They even have the
did not show
combiner
the
ports.
combine mode.
They're air raid and skydive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I brought this up during the third party minicast of how it looked like they would be integrating those into the Voyager leader class figures, and based on what Chris said, it might be something there.
Yeah.
Their just compartments were very like dense, and they didn't open up or anything. So I guess that's where everything happens, and it shows that they don't carry any a Prime Master. So I guess something happens, or some connector or whatever.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, John, thanks for being on. We appreciate you giving
Thank you.
your
Thank you.
thoughts.
Thank you for having me. And Brian, I don't know how Skype works. Just kick me out, okay?
Okay. I can.
Okay,
I will try to kick you out.
Take care, John.
Right. Thanks, John.
Take care.
Yeah,
Take
John,
care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for asking the question.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love that.
Take care, everybody. Good
you.
night.
Okay, sweet. So, what else we got going on here? Okay, so let's jump to the normal segments. We will rejoin the normal flow of the show, and we'll get into all the details of SDCC. But let's go ahead and start off. Anybody get anything this week? I did.
Yep.
I will go
Yep.
before Rob.
Yeah,
Rob's
I'll go
last.
last.
I hate you.
I have Overlord.
He has Overlord.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's
It looks
beautiful.
So good.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
I really like
We're
it.
still not allowed to swear on the show, right, Brian?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
I can
okay.
have it.
I can
Yeah.
swear
Okay.
in your heart.
Okay, Chris, just where did you get that from? Just out of curiosity.
A store.
Okay. Thank you.
He
That
picked it up at his
that-
local Walmart.
that narrows it down. Okay.
No, I got it from Kmart.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I got the mark.
2023.
Well. Remember, I found $4 Combaticons at my Kmart, so anything is possible.
Except, well, anything's possible except having a Kmart in the vicinity.
What do you think?
No, but I'm actually really happy with Overlord. There's a ton of paint on it, which is both good and bad. It's good because it makes all the painted parts look really nice. But like the Titan Master's head is painted fully. It's like turquoise on the helmet part and gold on the inside. The turquoise is rubbing off horribly every time you take the thing in and out of the neck socket. Overlord does not have to have the Titan Master removed to transform, and I would recommend not removing it any more than you have to.
Interesting.
There's not really like a whole ton to note. I established that the upper body piece is about 95% different from Sky Shadow. It's basically just things like the elbow parts, some of the shoulder parts, and oddly, these black fins on the side of the arms are the same piece as Sky Shadow's stabilizers that are on the back of that.
That's interesting. That's neat.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird reuse of parts, but I like that they like reallocated them to a different position.
Makes sense. Reuse what you have.
Yeah, it's It's completely the same from the waist down. Like the tank component's exactly the same build, so there's not really anything different there. But like all the joint tolerances feel really good. The shoulder joints could be a tiny bit tighter, but that's really just like nitpicky stuff I'm getting into there. Even the stickers predominantly have been really good, except for this Decepticon symbol on the shoulder is peeling on the corner because they tried to wrap it around an edge. If they just gone with something a little tiny bit smaller, I think it would have hung on just fine, and the stickers on this would be great.
So now that we know that Prime Masters are coming out, it makes a lot more sense that he has the slots for the Masters, right?
Yeah, and it also makes sense to me now that Takara Tomy has not announced theirs for a December release, because that was my expectation. They would release it at the same time this year that Super Jinrai came out last year. So I assume they bumped that back a month or two so that they can actually run the new Prime Masters with this as Power Master engines.
So have a Mega and a Giga.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I'm kind of curious to see if those work as well with Overlord as we think they will, because they seem to be at least almost as thick as Titan Masters from the pictures we've seen so far.
Yeah, I'm still going to.
It appears to be the same body, just without the robot face on the back.
Yeah, and the plate on the back looks about as thick as a face, so it's going to be interesting.
I wonder if Trent will do anything that would be kind of cool to maybe get some more. Actually, he's already doing it. Like if you're able to unscrew that, it may not have the same placement of the screw, but it should.
I bet it does. It does.
So,
it does. They showed. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and man, that's going to be great for people like Trent because, there are only like 13 primes. So if you end up with the duplicates of some of these sparks, you'll be able to use those leftover bodies to attach other Titan Master faceplates to.
I love that.
Even for that matter, people who want to buy these Prime Masters just for the little Pretender shell components, because it's not like the Titan Master vehicle weapon things where they're like an integrated component of one mode. They basically just tack on in the weapon mode.
Yeah.
So like some people are going to have spares of these that they're not going to want to do anything with. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of potential here, and yeah, I really think this is probably why we have not heard any details about Japanese Overlord yet, because it's going to somehow leverage this. Before we move on, I did get one other thing. It's not Transformers related, but I got a AC adapter for my new camera, which was kindly gifted to me off of my Amazon wish list by the X-Ray Monkey on Twitter. So
nice.
Thanks very much for that. It's going to be very useful.
Nice. So we were talking about John Warden, and I'm looking at in the chat. Now, I knew this, not maybe in so many terms, but I think I knew this, that John helped Eric choose his school, because Eric, of course, is going to school to design Transformers. That's what he wants to do. So that's really cool. John's a great guy. Okay, so anybody else So Don, did you get anything?
Yes.
I kind of
what
hate
I
you
got
for this one.
Yeah,
No,
it's right
almost as much
behind
as
me.
Chris.
Yeah. I picked up G2 Cybertron or G2 Primus. Last Thursday, I went down to visit my aunt, and
So, real quick, for people who are literalists, it's not really G2. It just looks G2.
It's so G2. It needs a Cybernet space cube around it just to be fair. But yeah, it looks very G2.
They should have remolded the Omega Lock as a Cybernet space cube.
Oh, that'd be neat.
But so I was looking at the Transformers, and they didn't have anything because I had just found Movie Hound and a Legacy White Ranger at Target, and I thought, well, that's not too bad, so I'm going to find. And I look up, and a spider-wired. Yes, they spider-wired Cybertron on the shelf. Cybertron, and I'm thinking, well, I wasn't expecting this for a couple of months. And they only had 2, and I figured, well, this could either be like Fortress Maximus, and it'll be at Ollie's in 6 months, or it'll be like Metroplex, and it'll vanish and not be seen again forever.
Either way, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, so I figured, well, I've got some dynamics going on with it being Thursday and discounts and reward points and yada, yada, yada. So I got it for less than retail, so I'm happy. I'm not opening it. I'm just because it looks so pretty in the box. So there's that. Like I said, I also picked up a Voyager Hound. And today, thanks to Hasbro Toy Shop, putting it up at 5:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning, because I was going into work at 6, I got Voyager Megatron for myself and a friend. So
nice.
just to make it free shipping, I got a saw back.
Nice.
So
Did you have Sawback already?
No, I kept meaning to get him, and it's like, well, I'll get him later because he's everywhere.
I think you'll be well pleased by it, though. It's a really nice Titan Master set.
And
He's
then,
no shuffler, but he's a good second
He's the next
place.
best thing.
I still
Yeah.
need one of those.
and I needed something to put me like $3 over the free shipping at a toy shop, and I thought this will do. So there we go.
Diecast, did you get anything?
Yes, I did.
I saw one
I got
of them.
I got a big jerk who is Trypticon because he immediately broke when I was like, oh, let me test the ratchets to see how bad they are. And the one leg was like, I don't feel a ratchet. And I took it apart, and the plastic was actually bent. Like, it just twisted the piece that the gear holds on to.
Wow.
So I had to fix that. And then also, Chris, you'll be really interested in this. The one little ratchet they use for the outward movement of the leg has a lot of detents on it, and it depends on the way you put the gear in. The way the detents are, like one is like a quarter.
What's a detent?
Okay, so like there's the teeth and then there's the depressions. The detents are the depressions. It's a term used kind of commonly for like soft ratcheting things, which may not be the teeth structure specifically, but any kind of like little stop or catch in a moving joint like that is generally referred to as a detent these days.
Nice. That's the word of the day, so we all yell when we hear it next.
So my leg wouldn't go all the way in. It was out just like a hair. So I had to pull that piece apart that you don't need to pull apart to fix the other problem. And there's about three springs and about 4 or 5 gears in it. So
I'm having a flashback to destroying my childhood Ultra Magnus.
It was that's why I spent 2 hours.
I was wondering why it took you that long to do the fix, but okay, it's because you did a completely separate surgery then.
Yeah, and also because I had to try and repair the plastic to get the gear back.
Did you do a video of that?
No.
Oh man.
No.
It probably is better that he didn't, because I don't think we would want that much profanity on a branded channel.
It would have been 2 hours of son of a, and my wife going, "What's wrong?"
Though.
But
I even go to the live stream. Like, just imagine the moment when you discovered problem 2 and had to start working on that.
I could do it. We'll see how that goes. Anything else?
I also thought I was getting a Weijang deluxe size Bumblebee, and this came in the mail. It's not really what I was expecting.
So what is it?
That's a size of a Weijang Deluxe, though. I mean, remember what those Protectobots were?
It's a Weijang Bumblebee, but it's like 3 times the size of a Deluxe.
Yeah, just like those Protectobots.
For the listeners, Diecast, what is it?
It's a Weijang Bumblebee.
It's in at least 2 up of the Age of Extinction Bumblebee design. I'm not going to say mold, since this is obviously
remolded,
redone, and 2 up, but
it's like bigger than leader class. That's what it is.
It looks like it's something you would open and find out that it's possessed.
Yeah.
Or covered in lead.
Or both.
Yeah.
The lead is there to keep the spirit out, but
yeah, I don't think that the lead actually promotes spiritual possession. That's the true reason that it's banned in children's toys.
I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I just put the video review up yesterday, and it's Rendoza. Rendoza, which is the Weijang upscaled Voyager Megatron from the last night. And I really like it.
That's oops, we stole this too quickly.
Yeah, oops, we stole it again and upscaled it. And then I got Blitzwing also, Voyager Blitzwing from Titans Return.
Cool. Very cool. Matt?
Yes, I did get a couple things. I went to the local Walmart and stared at the pegs of Wave 1 and 2, Titans Returns, yet again that are not going anywhere. So I decided to clear out a couple of troop builders. So I got more sweeps.
Oh, good.
Holy crap!
Nice.
So how many
And-
sweeps do you have now?
I have the Takara Scourge and now 6 sweeps. So
Okay, well now you have a way to go to get to beating Rick Alvarez because he was trying to get 100 sweeps. So you have a way to go.
he can have that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, normally I would really complain about somebody planning to buy 100 of a single figure,
Somebody
but
needs
like,
to in this case.
yeah, at this point, I think he would actually be doing the community a service by traveling around and clearing those out.
He's be-
But,
watching Kane, like from Kung Fu, traveling around helping people barefoot.
That's
Yes.
like some kind of reverse Johnny Appleseed.
Yes, that's it. That's even
So
better.
Matt, just tweet your address on Twitter, and we'll have people send you scourges.
That's great. That'd be great.
No,
I love that.
and
Okay,
I
instead
also bought another little Sharkticon because he was the only one there.
What's
it
that,
was
26 now?
That is 26 now. Yes.
I know because I made him buy number 25
I have
during
3.
Jalanta weekend.
Yeah.
What are you
but,
gonna say,
I think I have.
This thing sat on the shelf for a month and nobody bought
I've
it.
never seen
I had
one.
reached my limit.
I've never
so-
come across a Sharkticon in the wild.
Me neither.
Well, that's
Not
because you got to all the stores in Atlanta after Matt had been there.
I mean, here, Rob, were you about
And
to
all
say
the
something?
stores on the way to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Rob, going once, going twice.
Okay, yeah.
I also
Oh, sorry.
I also worked a little bit of Dononomics, Don, just for you. So
You
I
sold a
had
kidney?
only the one.
He still has 2.
I ended up with a 10% off from coupon code from ages 3 and up. So I spent a couple days deciding what to spend it on. So I got myself DX9 Warren Pocket Seekers.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
I watched the review on those. They really are. It's a very interesting transformation for the legend size.
Those look bigger than Legends to me.
Oh, it's an abstract concept.
Yeah, but it is a little bigger than your standard legend scale. But they're Seekers, they're jets. So the arm transformations scream cyber jets to me.
Ooh.
And that's
You
never
should've told me that.
that's never a bad thing.
That's why I told you that.
Asshole.
The stabilizers do kibble up the back just a little bit, but you can't notice it from the front.
Yeah.
The silhouette's not broken up.
Nice,
So.
nice.
So
nice.
just
nice.
don't pose your Transformers backwards, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Now I just have to. Now I have to buy
My
the.
toy.
Now I have to buy the cone headset. So
Yeah. Anything else?
no, that's it.
Cool, Rob.
Rob.
Actually, no. I guess me. Unless Rob had something he's going to say that he got trampled over 5 times there.
The only thing I was going to say is that as opposed to Operation Beehive, I think this this Christmas should be Operation Clean Sweep.
Yes.
That's really good.
That's a good one.
If they're still hanging around by then, let's use that.
Well,
they're
see,
still-
I
if they're
have
still
no
hanging around
sweeps
by
left.
then.
I have no sweeps left.
I do.
Both my local Walmarts, I cleaned them out. Now the one has 6 legend scale, and they're all road burn. And one Walmart, all 3 of my Titans Return Deluxe pegs are full, and it is all wave 1 and 2 minus Scourge molds.
So I'm going to go ahead and take the time just to complain about FedEx because, dang it. In my entire life, and I'm 38 years old, I've had one issue with UPS. I've had a handful of issues with the Postal Service, but almost every other shipment that I get from FedEx has a problem. And we have that FedEx Help Twitter account that's it's verified. It must be a verified troll. It's like, hey, let us help you. And you message them, oh, I can't help you, if they respond. So, yeah, I had Trypticon. Diecast got his Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Triplet got his yesterday. He has the same local depot that I do, except it's like 20 minutes from me, and it's an hour and a half from him. It hit Charlotte Saturday. If they really wanted to, it could have been delivered Sunday. or Monday at the latest. But now I got it on Thursday, so I'm a little upset about that. So because of that, I haven't had a chance to open it yet. So I have no thoughts on Trypticon other than it's a big box. And
A big box of hate.
Big box of hate. So
Big box with a big jerk in it.
yeah. You remember? So it's almost always a Transformer 2. Like back when it was an SDCC set. It was the one with it was the Shockwave tank SDCC set. I had so much
the Predacon Lab deal.
Yeah, I had so much trouble getting that from FedEx.
Yeah, I
They
remember
refused
that
to
now.
deliver it to me. I was just not happy. So yeah, I'm gonna in the future make a point to only have. I'm gonna pay more to make sure that it's not FedEx. Sorry, and
That's weird too, because like FedEx is the best delivery option for me around here.
So it's a regional thing. Like for people who are, I'm certain it's a regional thing. I know we have listeners who probably work for FedEx. The company that everybody works for either has a few bad apples. So my bad apples the bad apples for FedEx were probably all in the North Carolina area because it never works out for me. Never ever.
UPS is superior in my region of West Virginia.
Yeah, that's
Western
they'll actually
Maryland.
drive up to your house.
I mean, my Trypticon came FedEx and then was transferred to the post office, and the post office delivered on Sunday, and I was like, "This is great."
Yeah,
This is
that'd
have been nice.
So let me tell you the story of getting Overlord. This had to be signed for. It came express mail and had to be signed for. So it came through the regular mail, and at noon on the day it was supposed to come, I got the email from my UPS, my USPS, whatever the post office automatic package tracking thing is. I got the notification email from that it had been signed for and delivered. I hadn't gone out and signed for it. There's a locked gate across my driveway, and I know nobody else here had gone out and signed for it either.
Gate at your driveway?
Well, rural area.
Must be very
security. It's security, except for the deer that can just jump right over it. Anyway, so the package wasn't outside. I submitted for the proof of delivery, which gives you the scan of the signature. No, just a scribble. I actually tweeted out a picture of that. So I had to go and take a drive to the post office and, talk to them about what had happened and see what could be done about it. So I spent like half an hour there, and the people inside the post office that I talked to, super, super nice, helpful people. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, my post office here is great for the people they have working there. So what it ended up being was that when there is an express mail, the carrier is supposed to break their route and go and get the express parcels delivered to where they're going by noon on the given day. Well, my carrier forgot until it was too late to actually get it here by 12. So she decided to just scan it and sign it in her car and then would deliver it with the regular mail.
That's shady.
So little bit, yeah. I'm told they actually fairly heavily discourage that behavior.
We did.
And ordinarily the carrier would be penalized heavily for this, except she's retiring in a few weeks, so they just weren't going to do anything about it. But I was going to get my package that day.
Well, that's
so
yeah. Yes.
I mean, it happened. It worked out pretty well because by the time I actually drove back, I got here just when the carrier was sitting in the driveway, needing to get the package signed for real this time.
Did you give her like the stink
I got
eye?
it. Well, she's going to retire in a few weeks. I mean, what could I do?
So if this were an action film, that would mean she would get shot somewhere between now and then, and you would have to.
Which means you may as well cut.
Wow, I didn't consider that at all, Kilby. But
okay.
yeah, it's a little bit of an adventure. But I did get my Overlord the day it was supposed to be delivered, which it all worked out. It was just kind of a hassle and some stress for a while when I thought my package had been stolen.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Rob, what did you get?
Okay. I made a list. Okay. First off, I want to thank Tahuka Nuva on Twitter for just giving me his replica Type 2 phaser, the Art Asylum one from a while back. That is just a great toy. It is so much better than the old Playmates one. If any of you had that, the Type 1 phaser's detachable. It has like 4 sound effects, adjustable lights. It's like a couple of minor things off from being what I'd consider perfect, and it's just a really great great replica. So thank you very much for that. And then XV sent me the box of stuff he's been holding for me since the beginning of Titans Return, or possibly a little bit before.
Or possibly the beginning of time. We're not exactly sure anymore.
Yeah, so I got Combiner Wars Cyclonus, who is really nice.
Cyclonus.
Yes.
Sorry.
It feels more different than Silverbolt than you might expect to me, so, it's a really nice figure. I'm very happy with it, and it looks like I may be able to get some more Decepticon limbs to stick on it soon.
Yeah.
I got the regular retail Combiner Wars Bruticus, which just the various tolerances feel better than the G2 version to me for some reason. So
just be careful with Vortex's elbows. I don't trust them.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. But yeah, it's really nice. Also, Skylynx, which I don't even care if I ever use it as a torso. It's just such a nice Skylynx. I am perfectly happy with it as it is. He sent me he found a Mattel 6-inch Ray from the Ghostbusters line last year for $5. That is a great $5 figure, let me tell you. So, and if anybody needs the Build-A-Figure hunk from that, I am never going to complete that Build-A-Ghost. So, let us know.
Which Ghost is it?
It's just basically a 3D version of the logo. So I've got like the logo's chest for no reason. Does glow in the dark though. So
it's not like Sam Hain or anything like that.
No, man, I wish they'd do 6-inch scale real Ghostbusters. That'd be great.
Oh yeah.
Getting into newer stuff, I got the rest of Titans Return Wave 1. I really like Hardhead. That is a nice mold. Finally have Scourge. Scourge needs paint, but otherwise is decent. Blur, I'm kind of glad I got that version of that mold last, because it is actually probably just in terms of just feel, not just colors, but feel, I think it's the worst one of the lot. It's not bad, but it's just, it's decent. It just, Brainstorm and Nautica were both better to me, so. Then there's Galvatron, who is just downright excellent. And I've heard tell Not Enough Productions might be working on a helmet for that, and boy, I hope so, because a new hat would make that about perfect.
He's been holding on to this box for a long time, hasn't he?
I told you so.
Well, if you think about when the Combaticons came out,
yeah.
Also got SDCC, last year's SDCC Windblade off of them, which is the Robots in Disguise mold. I really like that mold, and it makes a much more solid-looking jet than the original did. It actually feels very much like they were trying to update and fix a lot of the things on the original Windblade, and I appreciate that. And lastly, I got Fortress Maximus, which is why it took him so long to get this to me, because he was waiting to find a box large enough. And yeah, I like Fortress Maximus.
Really did.
Yeah.
So to laugh at my pain for a second, last night I finally got my Combiner Wars and Titans Return shelf up, where I put all my Voyager figures that didn't have Combiner limbs. So I put them all up there, and now I'm going to have to take them all down because I'll have limbs to put in place. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I got.
Cool. Okay. So let's jump to This Week in History. 1994. The first ever BotCon is held in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And Don, you were there. God, I know a lot of people that went to that one. So
I was there. Actually, that was the first year I ever flown at all. I took my dad's Polaroid and cinematic camera with me. I had to buy the film, but he let me borrow the camera. So yeah, and I saw some of the Polaroids from that year. First time going to, I was expecting the ballroom at a Holiday Inn or something, and what we got was just so much better. Again,
Really? Was it? I mean, I'm serious.
It was. It really was, because it was more. Again, I'd been to a few local comic shows and stuff that was basically in the ballroom of a Holiday Inn or something, but this was a lot more interesting. I saw, again, as I've said before in the past, I learned about the overseas product that I did not even know existed at the time.
That's amazing.
Because at that point I wasn't even trading Legends Bumblebees for VHS copies of Master Force and Victory, so I had no idea what this stuff was.
So I learned about all of that over the internet, and it was a solitary sort of discovery. I mean, I shared like stuff I learned with Triplet, but it's not like I was around other people as I learned this stuff. I can't imagine what that was like.
Well, I mean, basically, imagine you saw me at BotCon in the dealer's room.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine that 10 or 20 fold, seeing a dealer's room for the first time like that.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
There you have it.
So it'd be interesting if we went back and caught up with everybody who's, I hate to say it, who's still around, who went to that first BotCon.
Yeah, that would be.
So what, 140 people, something like that?
It was not many compared to what it wound up being at the end, but it was still a fun convention. I remember meeting John and Carl for the first time in person. I was the first one in line for the dealer's room and saw that it was the G2 breakdown, which is cool. Met Tony Prito and a bunch of other people I know now for the first time.
Is that when you got? Is that when you got your God Bomber, or is that later?
No,
That's
no.
No,
actually, I got him through the mail through Lee's Action Figure News and Toy Review, an ad from
But that
Lee's.
was Tony Prado that you got it from, right?
Yeah, but I got it from through the mail, sending him a check.
So, similar story, but I was talking with Kim yesterday, and she didn't give a crap, but I told her anyway. So, I was telling her, like, we'll get into the I guess the new series conversation, but like our buddy Frank is in that, and I'm like, so I was talking about the series. I'm like, and the cool thing about Frank is the cousin of the first person I interacted with in the Transformers fandom, Rose. I used to subscribe to Rose's newsletter back in the mid-'90s that she did, Transformers newsletter. So I'm like, then I started telling her how I sort of got into the Transformers fandom. She didn't care, but it's just kind of funny that, there's that connection. So things were so much different back then. We were actually talking on Twitter with Eric, who turns like 18 in like 3 or 4 days. Like for Anthony from TFU was talking about BotCon 1998 or 1999 and how it was his first BotCon and what it was like. And I'm like, I was sitting at my desk, reloading Alt Toys Transformers, waiting for an update from somebody that either brought a modem or had a library card who could give an update. And of course, there were no way to share photos unless somebody had a website and an FTP server and a way to log into it. And a digital camera, which would have to have been like a Mavica or something, because those were incredibly rare, a digital camera. It's an entirely different world now. I kind of miss the old world, honestly.
Some days I miss my Mavica.
Yeah. And also in 2007, Don, this is also for you. All 3 episodes of The Rebirth received their delayed Japanese broadcast debut on Cartoon Network Japan. 20 years after the original airing. That is so weird.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's like, how is this related to Headmasters? I just can't imagine them trying to reconcile the two at all.
Except it's the opposite. Like with you, when you first, any of us, but when you first found out about the Headmasters TV series, we were trying to connect it to The Rebirth. And you just can't do it. Yeah,
it doesn't work that way.
It does not work that way.
It does not work that way.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump to the big item, SDCC. So we've danced around it, talked a little bit about it, but let's go ahead and jump into the nitty-gritty. We have photos of Power of the Primes figures, first look, really neat stuff. And the first figure we're going to look at here is Jazz. And while we're looking at this, Matt, if you want to try recycling your video, that'd be awesome. So Jazz is Breakdown?
Jazz is new.
Jazz is completely new.
far as I
Jazz-
can tell.
Jazz looks like
The only thing that isn't completely new looks to be Darkwing and Dreadwind.
Okay. So we think, though, Jazz is going to be a Combiner Wars style figure.
More than think.
Well, he's got the peg in the bottom. So
Yeah.
do we actually looks like here looking at it, he has the arm or the joint peg underneath his chest.
Mhm.
So yeah, but he's completely new. Okay.
Yeah.
We got a Jazz in Combiner Wars, didn't we? Or was he not?
No.
No.
So
We haven't had a Jazz since Reveal the Shield.
Okay, so
Well, Fall of Cybertron.
Autobot cars that we
Yeah.
got.
I don't count that one. Yes.
So
You shouldn't.
So we got Sunstreaker, Hound, Ratchet.
What do you say?
No.
Ratchet
Hara.
was BotCon exclusive and Unite Warriors.
So it was Ironhide.
Sunstreaker, Prowl, Ironhide, and Hound.
Prowl is what I was thinking of. Okay, and those toys were terrible. So for the most part, they were awful. I mean, you know. So Rodimus is again, he can switch between Hot Rod and Rodimus. He looks great as long as you look at him from the front.
Yeah, he's very boxy looking from the back.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's nice to see a level of integration though, instead of it just being a complete fall apart, reassemble kind of thing. That they were trying to do as much of an integration as possible as you could in that price point. It's not like Carry, in which it's completely integrated, but it looks like it's going to be as little few as pieces and parts floating around as possible, which is kind of nice.
Thing it gets me. So he is. This is Power of the Primes. He has the little Matrix gimmick, the little spark that becomes a Matrix. So, but he isn't a Prime Master, because it seems like the slot where his engine would be would make perfect sense to make him a Prime Master.
Well, instead it plugs into the Matrix handles and that goes into the Rodimus Prime body.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Hot Rod's component's legs become the upper arms of Rodimus Prime.
Yeah.
And then you just fold the rest of Hot Rod over down onto the chest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Dreadwind, and Dreadwind is definitely an aerial bot.
Yes.
Yeah.
They both are, yeah.
Is it
Beachcomber.
bad that I can't even remember which one to be
I
specific?
don't remember which one. They all run
It's
together.
Air Raid and Skydive.
Thank you.
Beachcomber looks great.
Yes.
Yes, he does. Finally, thank you, Hasbro.
So
Listening.
who's left?
A new Warpath would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that fits in.
Cliff Jumper.
Outback.
And
I'd like to see him take another stab at Huffer and Pipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. A few years.
I need one that fits firmly underneath Overlord's foot.
Yeah.
So Voyager Starscream, I don't like it. I don't hate it, but it doesn't do anything for me.
I am not liking the Seeker mold. It looks
Looks weird.
inflated.
Well,
There's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a very good reason for that. It's a combiner torso.
Yeah.
Well, the hands, from what I saw in the John Warden video, is that the little Power the Prime headmaster things, whatever we're calling them, they go in his forearms.
No, so what it is, the bucklers that they were talking about in the video are the combiner feet, which come with Starscream. The way I'm understanding it, the Prime Master plugs into the shield buckler feet components. That's how that integrates, and those plug onto the arms.
Yeah, because a buckler is as a shield you wear on your arm.
Yeah, it's a small shield.
Yeah, so that's the gimmick for that level. Plus, there's armor. That Starscream is kind of wearing, power up armor kind of to a degree. The way that I'm understanding it.
Well, and the deluxes apparently come with the hands for the combined forms, and those plug onto the bodies as armor, which then the Prime Masters plug into those for the interaction with the deluxes.
Because that's why Starscream looks like he's wearing like power glove gauntlets that he's just going to pound you with or something because they're so big.
The Starscream. It's so rad. Hey, so we also have Liege Maximo, and he looks like he comes with Skullgrin.
Yes.
That's interesting. Like from a branding perspective, to me, it's interesting that he's Liege Maximo and it's not Skullgrin with Liege Maximo.
Yeah. It's. I guess we should. Have we gone into exactly what the Prime Masters are supposed to be, like specifically?
Go ahead, tell us.
Okay, the Prime Masters are supposed to be the sparks of the 13 Primes, and so they are basically from the Titan Master body mold, as best as we can tell. They're entirely compatible with that. And the new Titan Master price point, the $5 price point, like Skullgrin here, are going to be what they're calling, I forget exactly, decoy somethings. But either way, it's tiny pretender shells for your Titan Masters and Prime Masters.
So in the first video from the breakfast event we had this morning, they were calling it a decoy suit. I think one of the slides of the presentation called it a decoy armor.
Either way, I like it. It's just,
yeah.
I guess they can't call it pretender. Or just don't want to.
They may not want to, yeah.
Yeah. And that piece kind of does look like a face. It kind of has like eyes and a nose and a mouth.
Maximo, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like styled as an insignia kind of thing. So
okay.
The one in Rodimus's chest in this official photo doesn't look as much like a face, though.
So go ahead.
Because I don't know if that's what the final one's going to look like, or if that's a different piece than the Matrix hunk they had in the middle of that at the show. But it's different from what we saw.
So I was at work all day, and I was in an all-day meeting, so I got to follow along with what I could. So it sounds like the gimmick behind Power of the Primes is the Power of the Primes are the Matrix that each have. And the Spark, or the Prime Master, can connect to the Matrix shell or whatever, and can power, like, the 13th Prime, who is Rodimus Prime. Is that close at all?
Pretty close.
I'm gonna say from like the assorted random bits we've been told, that's as close as we can get to it right now.
And so right now we have Rodimus Prime. Is he the sole leader class figure that we've seen besides Overlord?
That we've seen, yes. John Warden has said that the gimmicks we see with Rodimus, the evolution thing, and the Matrix that can incorporate Prime Masters, are going to be universal across the leader class, and said that we will be getting an Optimus Primal, since that was the fan vote winner, as a leader class with those gimmicks.
So again, we talked about we'd like to see maybe. I'm all about the Bat Optimus Primal into the original Optimus Primal from the cartoon. But
the other thing this play pattern would really lend itself to would be a Thunderwing.
Yeah.
And a Star Saber. My prediction
would be great.
Yeah, the prediction I made on Twitter earlier is that we're going to get a G1 styled Star Saber that carries the modern aligned continuity rendition of the Star Saber with the Matrix in the hilt.
Ooh, neat. So what about its Power of the Primes? We probably will get an Optimus Prime, you would think.
Yes.
You'd have to.
At least one.
So what would that be? Orion Pax to Optimus Prime? Will it be like the Jinrai to Super Jinrai, or how would that work?
I would think Orion Pax to Optimus Prime.
I think that would make the most sense in context of what they're going for.
Maybe they'll make another Voyager Optimus torso piece. But like maybe make a good one this time.
Yeah.
You could like make him a little more movie continuity like by like taking the center out of his Matrix and putting someone's head in there and sticking that in his chest.
Mm-hmm. Actually, you raise a point. So to me, we're talking about the G1 aesthetic or the Generations aesthetic, whatever that is. They could go for a more Generation style movie. I mean, it wouldn't make sense in context, but I mean, they haven't really done that. Like the movie toys tend to be really movie, like with the exception, the closest one that I think is closer to Generations is like the Voyager class decoy, not decoy, the one from Age of Extinction. Oh God, the one that was the preview toy that came out first. The G1 style.
Oh, evasion mode?
Oh, evasion mode.
Yeah. I mean, so if they did something that was closer to G1 aesthetic in the vein of, say, Prime, or even animated would be too far, but something like that could be fun. That probably won't happen. Who else have some major characters that haven't hit up? Shockwave.
Yeah.
We haven't had a Shockwave.
Thunderclash.
Thunderclash would be beautiful. I don't know if he has enough name recognition for like a leader class figure, but I would buy the heck out of that.
Well, he doesn't have to be the only leader class figure.
Sentinel Maximus. Or Sentinel Prime, sorry. The Sentinel Prime from Animated.
Yeah. Oh, please. Please.
Like a
The thing
Prime.
is, though, you could probably get a Thunderclash out of a retool of this Rodimus Prime.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, and I guess for a Sentinel Maximus, the Prime Master can be his chin. Is where he connects to be the chin, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be Sentinel Prime, though. Sentinel Maximus is the is the combiner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry.
I keep screwing that up.
Long day.
Yeah. Hopefully, no more Sentinel Maximus is not good. Let's see here. What else? So, any other rampant speculation before we move on? So one thing that came up. Let's see here. I'm bouncing around here. So there was I don't specifically see it listed. Don, during the podcast today, we were talking about you guys were talking about the ancient force or whatever that had to be resurrected to help the Autobots, and you speculated that you're thinking this could be the Omega Supreme. What was the context for that?
Well, we were just discussing what was being said in the John Warren video that had been posted, and that there's going to be a big bad of the series, and if Trypticon is the big bad, and we've already had Metroplex, unless they're planning on re-releasing Metroplex again, which is why they secured the trademark again not long ago, or they're making a new size Metroplex. It seems to me that the only person that makes sense would be Omega Supreme to counter someone like Trypticon, because he was in the fan vote. He didn't win, but he was in the fan vote with Scorponok and Trypticon. And if they're trying to fight this ancient Decepticon power, Omega makes the most sense.
So
I'm going to disagree, just because when I asked the question at the last, I guess it was Toy Fair, and I said, is the next one going to be Omega Supreme, or who was the other one in the vote? Scorponok. They said they had their heart set on something else, and I still really think it's going to be Unicron. And if they're saying big bad, who's bigger and better than Unicron?
No. What they were saying is, what they're saying, Diecast, is they have to fight a big bad force of evil.
Yeah, right. That would be Unicron. How else would you describe Unicron?
Well, now the way I was reading into it, they were talking about Trypticon, since he's coming out.
Beast Machine's thrust is also bigger and badder.
Okay, so here's the thing: the big bad they'd be talking about in this context would be a big bad for Power of the Primes specifically.
Gotta be Unicron.
Trypticon is a Titans Return toy, and by the time the first Power of the Prime stuff comes out, Trypticon is not going to be a current product.
Yeah, they all have freaking matrices. So what are you going to use that for? You're going to fight Unicron.
And if we were talking specifically about the cartoon, which I thought we were for a minute, I was going to say if the big bad they're fighting is Trypticon, which I believe it is, and the ancient Cybertronian they're going to be enlisting the help of is Fortress Maximus.
Has come himself.
Well, it's the way I read one of the articles was that Starscream's defeat signals the return of Trypticon
in the Machinima Titans Return cartoon.
Okay, so that's what that is. Okay, then I must have been getting my sources mixed up. I apologize.
Okay,
I'm still putting my hopes on Unicron, and you can laugh at me when it's wrong.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at all. I agree with you.
No, it's probably likely. It's not super interesting to me, but it's probably likely.
Yeah.
Also, the IDW panel revealed they're going to be doing some kind of Unicron-related storyline next year, so that kind of...
Why would they be doing
reinforces that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Diecast, you're dead on. I would like to see it in Mega Supreme, though.
I want to see a Scorponok, but not at the Titan class.
I
I'm
think
fine with
those
my
two were on
PVC
the
thing.
short list after whatever we get this year, whether it be Unicron or something else. They got to be on the short list.
So what are they going to do after this? So this is the end of the Prime Wars trilogy. Do you think they're going to attack Transform Generations in the future with such force, or are they going to take some time to rest on their laurels and do boring stuff again?
Depends on how well it sells, I suppose.
Action Masters.
Ooh, the action is alive. Okay.
God. Yeah, and the fan enthusiasm is dead.
Who will join me? Who will give up the power to
Well, I
transform
mean,
and be faster,
we're
stronger, more alive?
I mean, we're coming up on Pretenders and Power of the Prime, so
Well,
yeah,
we can get
Micro
Micro
pretty much got
Masters.
say you pretty much got Micro Masters and Action Masters left.
Well, and think about it too. Like, Power of the Prime is going to run to like mid 2019. By that point, the economics of producing Transformers might be so bad, all we can get is Micro Masters.
Makes me sad.
That is true.
Okay, so
Or it'll be $20 a pop.
Without
No, the Micro Masters will be $20 a pop.
Yeah.
now,
go ahead, Don.
I'm just saying it may be possible they're going to look at the Japanese or the UK continuities for some
Overlord,
I-
and we got
I
that,
did-
so it's not impossible.
Yeah.
So anything else we want to talk about before we get to the Toy Detective feature?
Yeah.
Okay, Rob, tell us about your two. Actually, I guess one's Rob and one's Chris. Rob, tell us about your Toy Detective.
Okay, they are giving away for free at SDCC this great
I want
poster.
it so bad.
Yes, it is a
You want it so
poster.
bad you can taste it?
Yes, it's
Yes, it is-
delicious.
It's a poster that folds into a cereal box for Trypticon's Titan Master Crunch.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
Oh, and
beautiful.
the art is great. I love it. It's I would love to have a copy of this myself. But the interesting thing about the back of it is that it gives a complete list of Titan Masters for the Titans Return series, and there are some that we are not particularly familiar with. Chris McFeely went over quite a few of these, and Allspark has worked out what most of them probably are, but there are a few that nobody's really sure about. And one of those is Liege, which, as he pointed out, is Daniel spelled backwards. So we only have one figure accounted for so far in Titans Return Wave 6, so it's kind of looking like, yes, there's going to be a Headmaster RC.
That's awesome, Don.
Yeah. Well, it is,
Don,
but
come
I've
no
also
way.
been. Actually, I'm not, because I have been seeing floating around the nets, quote unquote, confirmations that it's going to be a Titan Master, not an actual. It's going to be Titan Master Daniel, Titan Master Lynad, whatever, and a companion thing like Sawback or something. So it's not actually.
Sawback.
Yeah, so it's not actually going to be it is going to be a Headmaster RC technically, but not an actual figure, just a Titan Master.
But they
Just
said
put it
they'd be
on
happy.
Chrome Dome.
There you go.
Yeah, just get somebody to paint you a Chrome Dome pink.
That would be a G1 as hell, Don.
Or just wait for somebody to shapeways a new neck for Generations RC.
That
Yeah.
would work too.
I like the fact we've got Professor Go, which is it could be a GoBot reference to Professor Go from the cartoon.
Okay, so like
Or it
the
could-
prevailing. Go ahead.
Theory, I know. Yeah, the prevailing theory is that it's Shoota's father from Master Force.
And is probably supposed to be the Titan Master on Metal Hawk.
Interesting.
Which makes the most sense. But I'm just saying it's also a GoBot name.
Cool. Chris, what about the other one?
Okay, so this is basically just running down why this is basically the secret Combiner Wars. Documenting the observations of the Combiner ports, and mostly focusing on Starscream because that was kind of a trend through the afternoon, trying to nail down the little details that kind of explain why Starscream's so chunky. So at the time we were able to dig up pictures of the inside of the forearms where you can see the Combiner ports. And what's interesting is that after a certain point at the breakfast event, they seem to have reposed the Starscream sample so that those parts are not visible, and it has stayed that way in the display case. So like they are trying their best to hide this as much as they can, but they underestimate us.
Just like when they put that Laukaiser on the Computron box.
Yeah.
They underestimate it's there for us. It's there for you to uncover.
So one of the display case pictures, which is not linked from this article because we got it after I wrote this, you can see the other combiner ports on Starscream's feet. It looks like, from how everything's laid out, Starscream is going to form a torso much the way Silverbolt did, where the robot arms are going to become the legs, so it will actually probably have good proportions.
So, do we anticipate that this will be an undocumented feature?
I don't think it's going to be undocumented. I think it's probably not going to be quite like what we had in Combiner Wars. I think they will make note somewhere, Deluxes and Voyagers combine together, make teams, I don't think it's going to be like set groupings of any kind. It's just going to be, you can do this and this with these parts that come with all of these toys, have fun.
I'm happy to have it back.
Because if you think about it too, like Jazz and Dreadwind are wave 1 and Blackwing is wave 2. So like we're not even getting faction aligned waves. So you would have to have at least 2 waves to get like a set of Decepticons to put on Starscream, for example. So I don't think there's going to be set teams out of this except for maybe special occasions.
Cool.
Now what they should have did is made the Combiner Wars figure, or the Combiner Wars figures that were getting like Dreadwing and them, they should have made them Titan Masters, because you could easily put a hole on the top there, right where the Combiner port is, and then just plug the head in, and then you got both.
Cool. So this IDW panel, what are the big items from that?
Unicron next year.
Anything else?
It gives us the date and kind of a general synopsis for the Till 1 annual that's going to come out in December, and is about the election of the next leader of Cybertron between Windblade, Elita 1, and Starscream.
Cool. Okay. Anything?
And
go ahead, Don.
Yes, there was some big news out of the panel. Visionaries was officially announced as being a title. We're not sure if it's tying into Optimus Prime or the Lost Light saga book. I'm guessing Lost Light, because the Lost Light's still out in space Star Trekking, right? So this makes more sense for them to run across the Visionaries on Prismos versus Optimus Prime and them showing up on Earth or something. So, but yeah, Visionaries was announced that I'm very happy for.
Very cool.
I'm so happy.
They will probably end up tying into Optimus Prime, because all of the Hasbroverse stuff ties through Optimus Prime, and Lost Light is kind of off doing its own thing.
Yeah,
I'm just bothering anyone.
Yeah, I'm so happy that I'm probably not going to ask IDW for another animated D&D comic again because of this. So,
okay, cool.
Oh yeah, there is one other thing.
Comics to get caught up on.
There is one other thing they're doing. It's the annual for the Transformers, which is Thundercracker in Starscream the movie.
Interesting.
Really?
Cool.
I missed that.
One last SDCC item. We expect the exclusives that are available to hit Hasbro Toy Shop on 8/14. So today I need to take off from work or block my calendar in the morning so I can hit refresh constantly. So
yeah. So, someone please save me a primitive Optimus. Just because.
Yeah,
I kind of want that.
I like that thing so much.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, jumping to the rest of the news. Machinima Titans Return details emerge. So this blew up the internet. This was the thing that blew up the internet this week before the actual Titan Power of the Prime stuff hit. So Peter Cullen is going to be Optimus Prime instead of John Bailey, and honestly, I'd rather have John at this point.
Yeah, Optimus Prime's just going to sound tired now.
Yeah. Frank is still Starscream. Plus, we actually have some... Okay, so I know that a lot of people didn't like this, but the influencer cast that was specifically called out, and it features a lot of people I have no idea who they are.
Same here.
Like a Matt Pat whatever that is a YouTube influencer and creator of the web series Game Theorist, who is Computron. Was that who Computron was in the last one?
I don't know.
Hopefully not.
Computron had like 2 lines in the last one, so it wasn't even matter.
Somebody called Dashy Games is Minosaur. Rob Dyke is Devastator. Tay Zonde, Chorus of the Primes.
The guy who did Chocolate Rain, if you ever saw that.
Oh yes, I love that guy. Okay, I'm good with that one. Abby Trott is Windblade. Lana McKissack, Mistress of Flame. Again, Frank is Starscream. And Jason Marnaka is Megatron.
Yes, and he was one of the highlights of the first one, so I'm glad he's coming back.
Is that who that was? I didn't know. Had no idea who did Megatron.
But if you look at the main voice cast, as far as the known people, that is a very eclectic mix of people.
Okay, good. Okay, let's jump to that.
It is gimmicky as hell.
So Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, Rodimus Prime, and Hot Rod are Judd Nelson. Fortress Maximus
is Michael Dorn.
And I love that we left in the typo from Ain't Cool News. Yes. Total typo. Perceptor's Will Wheaton, or Will Wheaton's Perceptor. The Green Ranger is Emissary.
And we are not lying. Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, is
if we were going to lie about voice casting, why would that be the thing we would choose to lie about?
Well, he does have a big fan base.
Isn't Emissary the name that they gave to something related to Fortress Maximus? Or am I missing?
Yeah.
In Robot Spike. Yeah, in Robots in Disguise 1.0.
Okay. And Nolan North is Metroplex. So that's a guy who does video games. So I have no idea. But yeah, I'd rather have John. I liked John. I thought John did a really good job. And he's not Peter Cullen, and I'm just so tired of Peter Cullen.
I'm just so gimmicky.
I'm not. It's not that I'm tired of Peter Cullen. It's that give somebody else a chance because John did a good job.
John did a great job.
Yeah,
John's probably a fair deal cheaper than Peter Cullen too.
I bet, John would get paid, but John would probably do it for free.
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of glad Peter Cullen's playing Optimus Prime somewhere because the entire cast of Rescue Bots just got kicked off in exchange for non-union voice members, Cullen included.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully at some point we can get Neil Kaplan maybe doing a voice for Optimus. At some point.
Who knows? But yeah, so that's that. That blew up the internet. It's not in the show notes, but I do want to mention this. So our pal Chris McFeely has been working on a super secret project for TF Nation. Which is it this weekend? It's coming up.
Isn't it in August?
Yeah, like middle of August.
It's coming. So it's coming up in a few weeks. So he has been working on a super secret project. It turns out that he and Jim Sorensen have been working on a unofficial graphic novel version of Transformers Animated Season 4, based on the notes and everything of what we found out probably that would have happened. So that's really awesome. So that's really neat, and it's only going to be available at TF Nation.
So if you want one, find a friend in the UK.
Yeah. So I'm really impressed with that. The art looks great. So it looks awesome. So that's definitely something I would pick up. I'm not going to be able to go, but I'm very jealous of my friends who will be there. So that's to me, that was one of the coolest things that happened all week. Probably was the coolest before all the Power of the Prime stuff. Let's see here. So we had some Kre-O, the Kreon Battle Changers spotted at Dollar General. So Kre-O's not dead.
Well, it is. This is just like product that didn't have anywhere else to go for the last 2 years.
So that's what, Megatron and Grimlock. Anything else? Shockwave and Ironhide.
Yeah.
I really want these. So the thing is, before I moved, I had a Dollar General like a mile away from me in two different directions. Now I don't even know where one is. So
they had this great thing called the internet, and you can look up addresses on it.
Yes, but what my point is, I actually know where it is. It's just really far away.
You just said you don't know where it is.
I don't know if there's one that's closer to me than that one, But that's like
they have this
drive.
great thing called the internet.
So also, let's see here. Do we mention the? Because Chris, did you put anything about all of the third-party stuff from TFCon?
Look toward the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, it's after the
Or
last night
middle, I
stuff.
guess.
There's a bunch of third-party stuff that happened at TFCon. Honestly, it was,
Most of which was covered in a special RFC extra.
yeah, and most of it was boring. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we've already seen. There wasn't a lot.
A lot of Stunticons.
A lot of stuff. The coolest thing was probably a Thunderclash made from Tarn or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
Whatever the name of the thing is.
I will
Culture.
own it.
That was probably the single coolest item from the whole event.
Okay, right. Does that mean if he's made from culture, he's like Culture Clash?
Don, that's really good.
Yes, it is.
Don, that's great.
Nice.
Oh my god, that should be the name for it. Culture Clash is phenomenal, Don. You win the internet today. Let's see here.
Well, I've been on it all day, so I should.
That's true. Other interesting things. We saw the first that I know of the first not KO'd
Unofficial.
Weijing toy. So the first thing they didn't KO from Hasbro.
Well, we don't know who it's KO'd from. It still may be a KO. We're just not sure who it's
possible.
from yet.
What is it?
It's their not a Mega Supreme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looked
Yeah,
okay.
it'd be funny if they got their hands on some other third party's plan for a giant Omega Supreme and just were able to rush it to production way ahead of them.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
That's just a good life lesson in general. If a known plagiarist puts out something you think is original, go digging for the source.
yeah.
because the company that's KOing or apparently maybe KOing the Fans Toys Phoenix is also KOing their their Cyclonus. And we actually saw the renders of the KO before we saw Fans Toys renders of their Cyclonus
Yeah.
that it's being KO'd from.
So we have a friend who keeps me updated on all the rumors in the third party world, and we don't go. It's all speculate. Well, it may be more than speculation, but there's nothing firm to go into. But the crap that goes on is crazy when it comes to the people who just knock off stuff and who knocks off what. It's ridiculous. If it'd almost be fun to have a podcast where we just talk about that crap. But that would even if it's not true, who's going to sue you for libel? Because they don't want their name out there. You could just say whatever you wanted to. You could say that Fans Toys is run by green aliens and nothing would ever happen. So, but yeah, that's crazy stuff.
Helvin Ouroboros we got going on right now.
So what was that?
Helvin Ouroboros we got going on right now.
Yes. So, gosh, but yeah, so there's a lot of stuff we covered in the third party panel. God, I don't really want to have to go into everything. Anything besides those two that stood out to you guys?
For me, the DX9 Power Glide Masterpiece Power Glide.
That was new.
Yeah,
I think we have a separate item for that a little farther down Richthofen.
yeah.
I like the name.
Yeah, good name.
The Iron Factory.
Combaticons.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was, let's see here. And the interesting thing about those is those are their legend scale.
Which is the only reason they interest me.
And I don't see photos from that in the story, but they look really nice. They look especially nice. But you're probably
Love
still
the
going to
names.
you're probably still going to drop $240 on that. So that may be something that doesn't justify. I can't.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's
That sounds about right,
Kind of
actually.
crazy. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh, here's the Richthofen. God, that is really nice looking. Not getting it, but it's really nice.
Yes, very don't need it, but I mean, I kind of appreciate what they're going for here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that his heart. You can see his heart.
I do like the perfect effect thing, which is the next item. It's also something I'm not going to get, but it's kind of a neat idea.
Let's see here. Let me see if I see that. Oh yeah, the Garcia junior upgrade kit. We didn't even really talk about that. That wasn't from the panel, though, was it?
No.
No. But we're basically into third-party stuff right now, so we might as well just go ahead and get that out of the way, too.
I enjoyed writing this story.
Who bought the Perfect Effect Gorilla to go with this?
Yeah, well, Rob, tell us about it.
Well, I just enjoyed it because this thing is this is bizarre. I think it's a pair of. I think it's going to come in packs of 2. From the look of the photos, and it is a miniature gorilla in Optimal Optimus colors that turns into an axe, a gun, and a hammer.
It's so weird.
It is. It's incredibly bizarre, and it's creative. I cannot fault it for that.
And they're
it's
so
creative
cute.
and insane. It's great.
Yeah.
So, I don't think any of us bought the Gorilla itself, but, I know there's people on Twitter who have it and really, really enjoy it. So, there's definitely an audience for extra stuff for that, because there's people who are really into that toy. I watched a video review of it, and I didn't really like how it looked like it was engineered, but, if people enjoy it, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else we got going on? Transformers Tribute Bumblebee Evolution 3-pack. So this showed up on Amazon. Was it Spain?
Might be UK.
Something like that. So there's a potential Bumblebee 3-pack that features the Camaro Bumblebee, Modern Bumblebee, and I guess the new movie. Oh no, that's the first. They're ugly, so I'm not getting it. So.
Okay, so if this picture actually is representative of the contents of that 3-pack, it looks like basically unmodified decos from their original releases.
And especially
as a 3-pack.
Especially that older Camaro just looks like it needs so much paint.
The yellow one, right?
Yeah,
that's the original 2007, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it needs paint in a bad way.
I have a version of that, and it has a lot more paint than that.
I have it too. It's just in the bottom of a bin somewhere.
Yeah, no, I have another
I'm
Bumblebee
serious. I mean,
3-pack or 2-pack that has that in it that has a lot of paint.
Yeah, it's been re-released a few times over the years.
Yeah.
So in Japan, it looks like they're getting. Now these look pretty awesome. Transformers Last Night cosplay weapons. I love the design for Megatron's axe or sword or whatever the hell it is. So that's pretty neat. Rest of it, I don't really care much for, but is this Nerf? It looked kind of like Nerf.
It's probably the same basic material. Because, I mean, cosplay, convention standards tend to shy away from hard plastic weaponry.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be something Nerf-like.
So speaking of more Last Night stuff, smartphone docks from Swordfish Tech.
These are so ridiculous.
I don't know if I love it or hate it.
Well, I hate that by the time I wrote the article for this, the pre-orders for the Optimus one were already sold out, and it had been less than 24 hours.
I guess this is for an iPhone, right?
Actually, okay, so there's no phone hardware in this. This is just a base with a slot that you can feed a charging cable up into.
That's lame.
And it will hold your phone.
That is so lame.
Well,
it's not even
but
even
it's a statue
lamp.
and it has an LED light in the base, Brian.
That is so
not
lame.
even not even a lamp, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And how much are these?
$100.
That
Hell.
is ridiculous. That is so lame. If you pre-order,
Yeah, I was gonna say, Don, you can't get a lamp. You can't get a lamp for $100. That's just impossible.
If I could get that Unicron lamp for $100, I'd have one in every room of the apartment.
Maybe Wage Angle upscale it for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, upscale it so it uses incandescent bulbs instead of LEDs.
So you already mentioned Rescue Bots Academy, Rob, recast all parts, even Optimus Prime. Sad.
Yep. The whole cast, they're apparently moving production to New York, and which is kind of weird when you get down to it, because generally when a cartoon wants to go non-union, voice production moves to Canada. But
hey, if they want to go non-union, I'm right by New York. I could easily.
They want
do
voice
a
actors diecast.
Well, I can act.
He's an influencer.
I have a voice.
He influences people. He influences me to buy stuff.
No,
and I
he's
regret
under the influence. There's a difference.
He influenced me to buy Despotron that I greatly regretted.
Chris influenced you to buy a car.
That's true.
Yeah,
No,
so Chris from Power of the Primes.
Diecast.
Oh,
Yeah,
so-
but he did get more use out of that car than he did Despotron.
Yeah.
So
I-
But yeah, that's because inherently Despotron has no use in it.
So I
It's
am actually
Despotron.
I'm actually going through right now, reorganizing all my stuff, and I have a box of third-party stuff that I'm getting rid of. And I forgot who the listener was that wanted to get Despotron off of me. I still haven't found the accessories, so it's going to take me a while to get through that. But Despotron's in my pile of stuff that I'm getting rid of. He's like right there beside of the KFC Ultramax powered convoy. Dice stack. So
hey, you made me get that. I think you sold me on that.
that's crap too.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, just one thing on Twitter, our friend Brickinator came up with a good point. Given how like the small pretenders for Power of the Primes transforms, they could do a Grandis.
Oh yeah,
and have a little it'd be almost the exact same thing as Grandis, which I thought was really interesting.
yeah, it's neat.
A tiny Grandis just appeals to me too. There's just something about that.
Sounds very close to Tiny Dancer. But real quick about the third-party stuff. I'm going through and finding a lot of things I'm still really liking. Downbeat's really nice. I still like my Make Toys Hound. So there are a lot of these things I'm finding that I still think are really nice. So it's like I'm not just beating up on all third-party stuff. Just Despotron. He's so not worth getting. Okay.
I still love my Despotron.
Yeah. Just doesn't look right. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on. Is that it? Okay. So, hey, guess what? Please help us out. Go to tfradio.net/Amazon. Or if you're in Canada, tfradio.net/AmazonCA. Or in the UK, tfradio.net/AmazonUK. And if you use those links to buy anything, helps us pay for the show. And we would greatly appreciate that. I don't have anything specifically to mention. I just bought some cat food from there and dog food, and it was awesome. I didn't have to drive, 2.5 miles to buy some from like Tractor Supply or wherever I would normally get it.
I just bought some pharmacy stuff for the house through the TF Radio Amazon link, and I literally got 8 tubes of what we needed for what the pharmacy charged us for one.
Wow. So yeah, I get stuff for my pets besides food there, some pharmacy stuff. So I would never suggest that anybody buy their appliances through Amazon. But if you're going to, Amazon did announce today they're partnering with Sears to sell their appliances. So
Sears needs
Oh, that explains that.
help. So
yeah.
that's a good move.
So if you're going to do that, and I wouldn't recommend it, but if you do it, please use our link because that would help a lot. Be wonderful.
Also, I think Don probably still needs a Death's Head too. So,
TFradio.net/Massey Attack.
I love my
throw-
head
To
too.
throw at one of us when we see him next. Yes.
yeah, but it's gonna be a long time before I see Don again, so I'm not really too worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Rob, was it your birthday?
A while back, about a month ago.
Back in June.
Oh, happy birthday. Mine's on
Thank you.
Saturday.
Well, happy birthday.
Your birthday's Saturday?
Thanks. Yeah, Saturday.
Since I've stopped looking at Facebook for the most part, I don't know when anybody's birthday is anymore.
So what? You'll be 6, 7, something like
35.
that.
So it's kind of like Chris. I remember Chris being so much younger than me, and as time passes on, it's less and less. So yeah, you're not that much younger than me anymore. In 5 years, you'll be 40. 40. Buried alive. Buried alive.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
So, Rob, what's on TFormers this week?
Okay, we have got XV's review of Overlord, which really good review, really nice looking toy. Definitely check that out.
I shot it on the new camera.
Yes, and it looks great.
It did look great.
And it proved to me that my monitor's refresh rate is not up to 60 FPS. But
Really?
yeah, well, it's a fairly old 720p HD TV I use as a PC monitor, so yeah, it is not great. Also, I reviewed ROM vs. Transformers Shining Armor #1. That's really good. Alex Milne is back on interiors. It is so nice to see that.
Awesome.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It looks promising. It's fun. It's worth checking out. And we have the final results for our Hall of Fame vote. And, the top 3 in each of the 3 categories we picked. And they announced on one of the slides at SDCC today what the finalists were in all those categories. And the voters at TFormers wound up with about 5 out of 9 there. So
nice.
Good job, everybody.
Great job, everybody.
Yeah, Trigger Happy took slot number 1 in best toy of 2017. So it's first of the 3 finalists.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved.
Yeah, and Trypticon was the other one, and that was in our top 3. So, yeah.
Can't wait to see
what was the third one?
Our third one was Robots in Disguise Warrior Soundwave, and the official third one overall was Topspin.
Interesting. Cool. Awesome. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
Don, what's on the
All
network
right.
this week?
On the network this week, Superhero Time presents that one episode of Star Trek, The Royale. It was a dark and stormy night. The planet was nasty, 72 billion years old, colder than absolute zero, and as black as an unlit soundstage. But in the distance is a brightness, a haven from the void. It's the lone revolving door that takes you to The Royale. RFC Extra, episode number 33, TFCon 2017, third-party reveals. On this RFC Extra, Brian, Diecast, myself, and Melvar discuss the past weekend's third-party panel reveals from TFCon. RFC Extra number 34, Transformer reveals from SDCC, Rescue Bots, Power of the Primes, and more. The not RFC crew, Jason Kirk, Eric Crownover, and myself, Titan Master Don, teamed up Thursday afternoon to talk about all the reveals from
You're
SDC.
Prime Master Don, though, now I guess. I should have put that.
That's it. I'm fluid.
Not till the new line starts.
Yes.
Talk about all the reveals from SDCC 2017, including Rescue Bots and the Prime War trilogy finale, Power of the Primes. The guys talk about the new play pattern, the return of Pretenders, Titan Masters, Rodimus Prime, and more. The RFC minicast, episode 66, SDCC Revolution.
Oh no, that's last week. So I forgot to take that out.
Okay, I thought that
definitely
was.
Definitely go check that minicast out anyway.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, yep, we get a lot of good information there. Being awesome, number 111. Nothing rhymes with 111. This week, Rob yammers for about half a second on random stuff before doing a triple shot of that good Q&A. Can someone please call an Uber?
He's drunk on
RPG.
Q&A.
Yeah. RPG Lessons Learned, episode 11. A lot of 11s this week. The Board Games, part 2. On this episode of RPG Lessons Learned, Dusty and Brian continue their discussion about the jobs board at the Silver Unicorn. Sorry. This time, a new adventurer joins, and his GM hates it when he rolls his own characters.
So, so real quick, I'm going to spoil that. So, I'm not going to name names, but he said, yeah, my DMs hate it when I roll my own characters, and Dusty looked at him and said, because you cheat. There you go.
Okay. This week on RPG Lesson Learns, it's not you, it's us, really.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? Episode number 13, Changing Jobs.
We got a lot of great feedback on this one. A lot of people really love this episode.
On this episode of How Was Your Weekend, Wendy and Brian talk changing careers. We are joined by our friend Heather, who recently went through her own career change. We'll share some of our experiences going through the interview process from both seeking and hiring perspective. Plus, we share some of the best practices and recommendations on what to do when you want to change jobs. Speaking of, Wendy's recent change is going to mean some slight changes for the show. All this and more will be covered on the show. Check it out. There goes my money's on a brief hiatus, but we'll be back soon enough to transform your wallet into a disaster area soon.
Nice.
It's not a happy day because Brian didn't do a podcast this week, but I'm sure we'll be returning soon. And then Rob, Diecast, what do you have coming up for RFC reviews?
On RFC reviews, we have MW-001 Rendorza upscaled Voyager movie Megatron.
Awesome.
Which was actually out, available for purchase on eBay pretty much before you could find the Voyager anywhere else.
That's crazy.
They're KOing these and upscaling them really quick.
Yeah, it's basically like the scene from Spaceballs where they have the movie before the movie's finished. That's kind of what you're running. That's literally what you're running into now.
Well,
It's almost like somebody's stealing these from the factory 2 or 3 months before they hit the stores.
yeah. And even my Voyager Hound, which I bought, this is where I hate KOs. I thought it was an official. It looks like official packaging. It was out before I could get my hands on a regular Hound. I thought it was official, and then once I got it, I realized that it was not actually an official movie Voyager Hound. So that's what I really
KO
hate.
game is the KO thing is all fun and games until you're the one who gets bootlegged.
Well, yeah, when they're like these, at least these, they're KOs before you buy them.
And I think that's important.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to do an email this week because we've been getting emails to our new email form on the website, which is at tfradio.net. Click on the email us link. We've gotten quite a few, and I was just trying to find the one. I just found where somebody was contacting us about a Reddit sales thread for Transformers, and I'm like, I'm not going to read that on the show. But I think I found the one I wanted to talk about. I really enjoyed your JD Church episode. It was nice to hear the kind of things you all said. I've been collecting Transformers for only a few years, and I've met some really great people that I would not have met otherwise if not for the shared interest. I found on TF Wiki that Optimus Prime was listed as one of the 13 Primes. Is this a recent change because I don't remember him being listed previously? What are your thoughts on the 13 in general? Are there any toys that y'all have of them? I'm not really it's not really, I know all that stuff exists, but I don't really think of it. So the 13 Primes, all that stuff originated out of the attempt to do the aligned continuity. And that's a thread that sort of followed through longer than most other things. I'm not a fan of the aligned continuity. I'm not a fan of really anything that came out of it. I'm assuming this is following still through the comics, right?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, John Barber worked the 13 Primes into the backstory of the IDW Transformers universe because, continuity is his thing.
Yeah.
So it's all...
And probably with Power of the Primes coming up, there's probably a bit of a mandate for that, too.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying Rodimus Prime's the 13th Prime now, so...
Well, if Optimus dies, then yes, Rodimus would get the 13th Prime. So, yeah, we may not get an Optimus Prime in this line, because, I mean, we got, what?
Oh, no, we'll still get a toy. We'll still get a toy.
Yeah. Well, maybe, there was a rumor going around we get an Optimus Prime or Optimus Primal Titan Master before that line ends. So, maybe we'll get Optimus Prime severed head.
I would want a Dark Awakening Optimus Prime.
Actually,
that'd be fun.
That'd be fun. It would be like What's His Face, the Toys R Us exclusive that Diecast has that I want.
Skeletron.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
There are a few of the Aligned Continuity 13 Primes designs that I kind of like. But I'm pretty sure at this point that we're not going to see them in Power of the Primes like I thought we might, because they're all going to be reduced to little, Titan Master compatible bricks.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate to say that I just have a bad taste in my mouth from anything that came out of all that aligned continuity stuff, but I have a bad taste in my mouth from anything that came out of that.
Well, part of it was just that it was not executed very well on the official side, and part of it is also that, the fandom in certain respects grabbed onto certain very specific parts of the descriptor for that and ran with it like it was the whole meaning, which it never was.
Yeah.
And all of that together kind of sours me on the whole experience.
Yeah, because
obviously Hasbro didn't think it worked out that well either, since they've abandoned it.
Yeah.
Rather quickly.
It was my understanding that the original idea behind the aligned continuity was not that these were all supposed to be the exact same versions of the exact same characters, so much as it was supposed to be the way G1 worked, which is that you have kind of parallel stories going on between the comics, the cartoon, the movie, all of these things, but their continuities do not really, align.
Yeah, my interpretation of it was that, anything that falls under that umbrella, each individual history has similar events and things that go on, so that one person going through one thing coming into something new would still have a general understanding of the history, but details could be different, that kind of thing. But it was not opposed to everything fall into one single line of continuity.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, of course, you can, again, email us at our link or do contact at tfradio.net. I have a huge backlog of, like, emails and texts and stuff that I really should get into, but, you know, the show runs long, so... you can find this episode at tfradio.net/527. Pardon me, 528. You can find last week at 527. You can email, you can actually, again, mentioning text, our text line is 931-99-GOBOT, 931-994-6268. You can also call us and leave a voicemail, and I eventually will get to those. I actually respond to a lot of those, which I don't know if anybody expects to get a text back, but we send them sometimes. Follow us on Twitter at TFRadio and at Facebook.com/TFRadio, and on Instagram at TFPodcast. I am personally on Twitter at BKilby and on Instagram at Brian Kilby. Chris, you are?
Chris RTXV on Twitter. If you go and look back at the media tab on my Twitter page and go back a couple of days, you'll see some samples from the Overlord gallery I'm working on. I'm really happy with how these photos are turning out.
They're turning out great.
New camera, shooting in uncompressed format.
I mean, but being a point and shoot, I'm shocked at how good they look.
Yeah, it's a fairly high-end point and shoot.
But it's not even but a lot of it though isn't the quality of the glass. It's knowing what you're doing and being able to tweak and adjust things.
This camera has a wealth of manual settings to use. Like shooting video, even I have almost complete manual control over everything. Amazing. And same thing goes for the photo mode. What the big thing I think is helping this is that it's a bigger sensor than is typically found in a point and shoot. So it's able to produce clearer, larger images, less noisy in the higher ISO settings. It just like the whole works. It kind of comes together, and it's a really good camera.
CMOS or CCD?
CMOS, back illuminated CMOS.
Nice, cool. Don.
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.
Matt, it's super cheap. MELLLVARR on Twitter. Diecast.
I'm at Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Diecast2. You can find my reviews on YouTube at RFC Reviews, and you can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast.
Awesome. And Rob.
I am on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Flail Throughs. I'm on YouTube at Flail Throughs. Next couple of weeks, we'll be wrapping up the game I've been playing for the last 5 years, Gundam Battle Operation, as the servers close down.
Aww.
Has it been 5 years?
5 years as of June. Which, in terms of a free-to-play game, that's a pretty good run.
Better than Transformers.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking you've thrown so much time into that for something you don't even like most of the time.
But I like the people I'm playing with, and that kind of makes up the difference.
Look how long we've been doing this.
Look how long Superhero Time's been going in one form or another.
Yeah, through things like the Align Continuity where we were not all exactly on board. Yeah. So, but and of course the video reviews that XV and I do, most recently his Overlord review, can be found on YouTube at TFormers TV.
Awesome. John DeLuna is not here, but he is at that John D everywhere.
On everything.
On everything. Guys, thanks for being here. I was thinking, man, we only went an hour and 15 minutes, but we started 30 minutes earlier, so we're approaching 2 hours. So
it's an SDCC show, though, so we're allowed.
Yep, we sure are. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Take care, buddy.
That was fun.
All right, guys, I gotta go to bed. I gotta be up in 5 hours, so I'll see y'all later.
Good night, Don.
Bye, Don.
Bye, y'all.
I feel your pain.
Sleep well. Oop, that was quick.
He's got to go to bed.
Yeah, poor Don.
Poor Don.
But yeah, no. Look at like I showed the front view of this before, but like, look how tiny it is.
Yeah. Hey guys, before we do anything else, would you guys want to record There Goes My Money on a different day this week? if we did it, whoever showed up.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Would you rather do it tomorrow or Saturday?
No, Saturday's out.
Sunday?
Saturday's my birthday.
Damn it, Cerebrus.
Sunday I have a dinner. Tomorrow might actually be the best
Away from the
day.
microphone.
I mean, we can still do it tonight, but if we wanted to do it tomorrow evening, we could get Dawn and whoever's available.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and my throat's about to give out.
I'm tired. It's been a long week.
I'm out for tomorrow evening because I will be with my regular group playing Gundam Battle Operation.
I'll probably skip to, because like it's one thing if I'm just already here and I want to make silly comments about third-party stuff.
I'll be here. If Diecast, you and I can do it. Don will probably be in for it.
Okay.
We might see if Jason or Eric want to join in.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're available. Cool. So let's see what's going on here. I'm going to stop.
Oh yeah. So
go ahead.
So I was going to say you asked about the CMOS versus CCD in this. A CCD can't capture 1080 video, so anything that captures 1080 has a CMOS by default.
Okay. Cool. Didn't know that.
Yep.
I am going to go ahead and end the Facebook stream though. So if people are on Facebook and are watching right now, you can, if you want to continue with us as long as we're here, we're going to stream at tfradio.net/live. Only reason I'm doing that is because it takes more work to kill that stream. And I will forget if I don't do it. So I'm logging into the other computer. Again, it's like 2009 where I'm having to use multiple PCs to do all this stuff now. I kind of miss that.
Yeah, it's going back to classic RFC.
Yeah. I only use one mixer though.
I know that was the best thing when JD would just like all the time take you to task because you had like 3 mixers going to do the show, and he was doing the one. Well, whatever. But he was still. Well, I remember the picture of your setup though. You had like so much crap laid out to make this.
I still have multiple mixers, but I only have one hooked up.
Yeah, I mean, you had like 2 or more hooked up at one time just to make the show work in the past.
Yeah,
whereas JD was doing all his stuff with just that one little dinky thing.
But he also wasn't running the show with video and having like a video going while we're still on another channel talking to each other.
Except he had to run the show from time to time, and he would have then.
Yeah, but no, it still wasn't exactly the same.
Your setup was so overblown.
It was overblown. So I was talking to somebody, I think it was Eric, and he was like, it's like, hey, I want to do this like you do it. I'm like, no. Do not.
That's a bad idea.
Do it like I do it. It's a bad idea to try that. Like, just use a headset or one microphone. That's all you need to do. It's like, do not go and do this another way.
There we go again. Oh, there's a question, Chris, you'll probably know. Is there a trick to getting Cerebros attached to the tower in city mode? I have not been able to get that locked on quite properly.
I mean, it never sits down completely flush.
Okay. Because, yeah, that's the problem.
It just kind of sits in there more than attach.
Yeah, as long as it's not like rattling around in there, you've probably got it.
Okay, because it just seems like there's like little notches that match the shape of the indentations in the crotch, and it just seems like it should lock down more firmly than it does.
Do you have the feet folded up?
Yeah.
Like the toes and the heels?
Yeah, okay, folded up his sideburns. Now.
Okay, Facebook friends, I am now officially ending it because I finally found where I can do that. It's been almost a year since I ran Facebook Live, I think. We'll see you later.
Really?
Bye. It's been a while. See ya.
Bye.
So this Power of the Primes thing has me mildly irritated that we're getting yet more combiners and still no Predacons or Terracons.
Okay, but I mean, we're just
time.
Yeah, we're just seeing the first wave here.
And not even all of it.
But I have to buy aerial bots again.
So I'm not going to buy Dreadwind and Darkwing or Blackwing, whatever. I'm going to hold out and hope Takara does Buster and Hydra versions. Because I still have, I think on the back shelf up there, I still have the Universe Darkwing, whatever. They had to rename it. The thing from the Universe Silverbolt mold. And I still had the fantasy one day of getting a BotCon Dreadwind.
So I have both of those things, but they do not combine together to form Darkwind. So,
Oh, don't they? Guess you never saw this. Let's see. Let me see how long it takes.
I mean,
me to find a picture
I have
of
found
this.
no way to like clamp them together.
Let's see. Oh, that didn't take too long. Okay, so I can get the URL for this. Now, it's not 100% perfect. Oh, shit, Photo Bucket.
Photo Bucket just turned to crap.
Yeah, well,
It never worked
some
very
people
well
would-
for me.
some people would tell you, the hell is this doing?
Well,
Some people would tell you that it went that way years ago.
Well, the funny thing, it just started with you're not allowed to do third-party hosting,
Yeah, because they want to sell you a paid account now that will permit that.
and it's $500 a year.
for Photo Bucket.
Yeah.
Is that American dollars or like
That's American.
what? Photo Bucket?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
500 Australian dollars. That wouldn't seem so bad.
Why? That's a company that's not going to be in business long.
No.
Surprised they've been in business as long as they have.
But has it been 500? Like, you have to pay $500 to use it?
For remote linking.
Which is retarded.
Meanwhile, if you use Imager, you can remote link all you want to
For free.
For free.
Diecast.
What's Imager?
That's not a nice phrase or term.
We are still streaming on YouTube, aren't we?
I mean, I would say that even if we weren't.
Hmm.
You can say spastic. That will only offend, like, our UK
The
fans.
British.
Yeah.
And if they're listening, just say overrun. You're good.
Yeah.
Matt, did that link work?
If it ever loads, yes.
I'm still trying to find one that's not on Photo Bucket.
Remote linking. Oh my god.
Oh, Don went to bed about 5 minutes too early.
Why?
Why?
Because that show he likes, Miraculous Ladybug, they're making a live-action movie out of it.
Well, that'd be something nice for him to wake up to.
Yes.
Oh, come on. There's got to be pictures of this somewhere else.
That's nice looking. Oh, Top Shelf Shattered Glass Jazz says, I tossed my KFC Magnus in the trash, and it felt liberating. He's now living with his kind. I love this.
Oh, man.
That is great. I'm retweeting that.
Yeah, Photo Bucket did not work for me.
Okay, let's see. This is really popular for a while. I'm surprised there's not more pictures turning up in Google image search.
God, that is such a great tweet. That was so awesome. I love that.
Well, there's always the option of the last resort.
So I got an email from, like, during the show. I guess Kim's watching this, Kim Conter, who is a friend on Facebook, and I just assumed would have sent an email, or I mean, like, just messaged me on Facebook instead of going through this. But thank you. Let's see what we got going on. I got nothing interesting or entertaining to say. Actually, I know what I want to do. I'm going to turn off my camera real quick, and I'll be right back, because I'm going to go grab something.
This should be interesting.
Maybe.
Unless he just means he's going to grab a drink.
That and Trypticon.
Are you going to... Oh, well.
Oh, no.
Are you going to break it live on camera?
Possibly. We'll see.
Yeah.
Welcome to the post show, everybody. You wanted it back, and you were probably about to see the reason why in a few minutes. Now, I think I'm basically the perfect audience for Fortress Maximus because I never had a complete original one. So,
The closest I had was Brave Maximus, which was never complete in the first place.
Yeah. Just like the Scorponok I found at Goodwill recently, we had the body around, but it never had a head, never had any accessories. I just wish I could get my hands on the damn Master Sword. It's even
that would be a little bit trickier.
Yeah, I mean, there's either the Comic-Con one, the Takara Tomy release, or the Asian release of just the Master Sword, which is last time I looked, it was like $100 by itself, and nuts to that.
Yeah, I never got one of those either. Sad.
Yeah, and I really I know there's an unofficial one, but I just kind of really want the official one because I don't think the unofficial breaks down into 3 pieces so that Emissary or Cerebrus rather can use one.
Also, the unofficial one I think was a Perfect Effect product, so that's going to be expensive just to start with.
Yeah, so I am cheap, and I can't do that. Yeah, my personal version of Dononomics is if I don't get something when I see the lowest possible price for it, I have a very hard time paying more when I see it again.
Well, because obviously if it gets down to that low, that's all it's worth.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. That's right. Mickey put all the stickers for on this for you, didn't he?
Yeah.
Nice. I would never have gotten them all on this straight.
Here's the
The big hard head, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, nice.
and
Sure is a big hard head.
I don't have hard head in the, but here is
Quake.
Wake. You can see he's pretty big.
So he's it's around like between Voyager and Leader size, looks like. So
Yeah.
I don't suppose you have the old like Walmart exclusive Ultra Class hardhead, just as a comparison.
Uh,
Or the Universe Onslaught mold.
Yeah, either one of those.
but they're pretty much. I still didn't unpack a lot of my Transformers since I moved, and it's been over a year.
I sympathize. I have a bunch of stuff buried.
Yeah.
Me too.
I've had stuff packed away just out of necessity, like space concerns, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, most of my stuff is.
Most of my stuff is still packed up from moving.
Like, I don't know where I'm going to put Fortress Maximus, like, permanently at the moment, but I'm kind of thinking that the Omega Sentinel I put up on that shelf over there may have to move.
That's why my Trypticon is still sitting in my pile of loot, because I'm like, where am I going to put it if I ship it?
We'll have to buy a bigger house now, Matt.
Omega Sentinel
No,
can
it
come
just
to my
need to get
house,
the
Rob.
basement finished.
So we were joking about me buying another house and leaving the Transformers in this one, and this house just be dedicated to Transformers. Kim suggested that this weekend. Okay, got a knife. It's my Harbor Freight key knife. Costs $1.99 at Harbor Freight Tools.
Harbor Freight is useful.
I love that place.
I'm kind of surprised you do all considered, but
Well, it's a different market. they're
Yeah.
going after a different customer.
this is true. Yes, and somebody on Twitter mentioned that this new, like, chunky Starscream mold would make a great G-Axis, and I think they've got a point there.
Jaxus, how is it that you live? I thought you died in the TF Generation 2 Comics number 11. Oh, God. That was 19 years ago.
In the comic for Magna Convoy, like on the last page, there is a properly colored G-axis in one of the monitor screens. Like on the same page, they're hinting bludgeon.
Oh, nice.
But could you tell what it was made of?
Well, I mean, you know, it was the
Tiny G-Axis.
the Armada Starscream.
Yeah, Tiny G-Axis.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I hope they don't make a properly colored one of those, because I'd have to try and buy it.
So I love that in the chat, Eric and Jason are still going on about the podcast and calling it a third-party podcast. Like, I actually thought about that. When
because it was officially licensed by Brian Kilby.
That's true.
so.
But I was thinking
No,
about
it's still it's licensed third party podcast,
Yes.
but it is still third party
There you go.
podcast.
There you go.
Yes.
So like when I posted it, I just posted it as a straight up RFC extra, and I called it the Not RFC Crew, because I realized if I called it a third party podcast, guess what? Everybody would expect talk about third party and nothing else.
Yeah, no, that's the other that's the other RFC extra.
Yeah, if we had a podcast that was dedicated to third party, I think that would be cool. It's just that we don't. I don't know how we would do it.
I would want to be a part of it, and I don't have the time.
Well, we would have to do it without you then.
Oh,
But I would want to be a part of it.
My third-party seekers all have different face sculpts.
Oh, nice.
I noticed that during the show. Starscream is smirking, Skywarp is frowning, and Thundercracker is neutral.
I think what you mean to say is Thundercracker doesn't have a personality.
Thundercracker don't give a crap.
He has no strong feelings one way or the other.
Right.
All he knows is his gut tells him maybe.
This is a very big box.
I imagine.
Oh, and this is also my pile of loot, meaning that it came with what was it?
Oh, I'm also not shipping Trypticon because my birthday's in September, so that'll probably be that, and the Siege on Cybertron will probably be a birthday gift to myself.
You didn't have Topspin before?
I did. I tried to ship my loot before and it wouldn't ship for some reason. It must have been when they were transferring sites.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot these guns like pop off his leg, don't they?
Yeah, be careful with that. The one on the socket's on that's already stressed.
Okay, I will leave it alone. I just saw that there was a handle and...
Yeah, I have not been able to determine a good way to pop those off of there without stressing one side or the other.
Yeah, that's no good then.
The fit's pretty tight.
Yeah,
And they're only so
that's
as
what he
guns
said.
anyway.
Yeah, they'll be just as effective on his knees as they are anywhere else.
Mm. More impressive to Trailbreaker that way.
Yes.
So many toys.
Yes. Yes, thank you everyone for bearing with me while I went through that giant box of year-old stuff today. That was a great
Sadly,
box.
I lost internet connection, so I missed most of what you got.
Did they cut it again?
Well,
Oh no, it's just my normal crappy router that dies randomly.
I
It's
have
probably overheating.
so
It is.
What kind of router is it?
It's from Frontier. It's the one they sent me.
So do you want a router? Because I have one that works fine. I needed something with more oomph.
Yeah, bring it to TFCon.
Or I can email it to you. I can mail it to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
email it to him. I want to see how that's done.
That would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, Matt, all you need is like both a 3D printer and a circuit board printer, which I'm sure exists somewhere.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
send me those too, Brian. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll
Email
email
those to him.
you- Yeah.
Oh God, I'm afraid.
Oh, I really don't like the way that Starscream looks. It being a torso is the only thing that will save that.
I like it a little bit better than the leader one.
Well, I don't like. I didn't even bother with the leader one.
And I want to be like, we just had a Starscream, but I guess it was Combiner Wars Starscream. I mean,
I don't
Well, see now between Power of the Primes, Ghost Starscream, and Shattered Glass, I can create a combiner that's at least 3/5 Starscream.
Yeah. I forgot about that Shattered Glass Starscream.
Everybody did.
I was wanting to get one of those. I wonder what that goes for now.
So, I forgot that he has stickers. I never put my stickers on Metroplex or on Fortress Maximus, so I probably won't on this either.
Yeah, these are even worse. They're.
I think there's more of them too.
There's more, and they're smaller, and
And
some
the
of
instructions
mine.
are wrong.
Some of mine even tour. Oh, they are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute while
That I did
pop.
not know. I only did about a quarter of them before I gave up.
Yeah, I assume like a lot of them you can probably figure out just like by common sense.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I was to the point where I was going to start looking at the box and
Mhm.
doing the stickers by the box, but then I gave up.
I don't blame you.
So I'm looking at the Shattered Glass Starscream on eBay. I set it to completed listings as I do to actually get an accurate idea of price. One of these has not sold since July 6th.
I believe it.
Even with
funny.
a starting price as low as $70.
What Starscream is it?
The
It's-
subscription Shattered Glass Starscream, the white,
The
the
free
jet
figure
fire
from the
colored
last.
aerial bot mold.
Oh, okay.
Wow, somebody got a set like the shipping box full with Counterpunch, Toxitron, and the Starscream for less than 90 shipped.
Wow. Man, if I
June
had,
23rd, one sold for $55 with free shipping.
Well, quite frankly, if I wasn't a completionist, I wouldn't give a crap about the Toxitron either.
I would kind of not mind it, because if I'm only going to have one copy of that mold, which is what I would have if I got a copy of that mold again, I may as well have something interesting out of it. But I think if I ever go for that, the interesting thing I'll try and get out of it is G2 Menasor.
Yeah, you never got one of those, did you?
No, it's the only one of the G2 Combiner Wars box sets I do not have. It may be the, not counting Lio Kaiser, it may be the only Combiner Wars box that I didn't end up with.
Yeah, I still don't have Lynx Kaiser. I didn't get G2 Bruticus either, though.
Yeah, that was that. I forget where that went up on super
that-
clearance. But
I mean, that was kind of disappointing because they forgot the G2 Decepticon symbols.
Yeah, they got it a little bit
Yeah.
wrong. Onslaught needed more camo paint.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still have him and love him, but he's just not quite right.
yeah,
Trypticon feels like I'm opening like an RC airplane, like it's a remote control plane. He's lighter than he looks, and he, with his legs not attached, he's basically like he's not cylindrical, but he is like rectangular. Or gosh, what's the 3-dimensional version of rectangle?
A cube?
No, that
Here?
there is a specific term for a
non-cubical.
non-cubic
I can't think of what it is.
3-dimensional thing.
But he's kind of like that.
Not smart enough for this.
I mean, box would be an easy one, but yeah. He's like a box. Here's Full Tilt. I was excited about that.
Yeah, Full Tilt's okay.
You don't love Transformers if you don't love Full Tilt. Ooh, I have a Full Tilt for a Scamper now to fight.
He just came with a big jerk, so
I'm actually afraid to play with it, so I'll take it. I'll
That's-
fix the other stuff this weekend.
That's probably wise. No, I'm thinking if there is going to be some kind of convention exclusive Trypticon, it's going to show up at HasCon. And if not Chrome, the thing I think would differentiate it would be a recolor of Legends Tailgate as Wipeout.
Okay, so that pops off.
Alright, I think I'm gonna get going.
Okay, actually, people
Night,
watching live,
Diecast.
we'll catch you later. I'm just going to end the stream. So
Good night.
we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.